Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Coming up on 10:30 right now, giving you a live look over M&T Bank Stadium this morning as the Ravens are finally playing back at home for the first time in more than a month. Today, the Flock will take on the Carolina Panthers. And if you aren't planning on heading to that game, you can still catch all the action right here, 1 o'clock on Fox 45. Thanks for Sunday.
Cold out there. If you're not heading out to M&T Bank Stadium, great day to enjoy a little bit, because this is what we're up against. Not only are actual temperatures down, we've got that wind gusting at 30, 35 miles an hour, and this is what it feels like. Here's a look at our current wind chill temperatures. Currently feeling like only 22 in Baltimore, a measly 18 in Westminster. And it doesn't get much better this afternoon. As we near kickoff at 1 o'clock, we're still feeling like we're in the mid-20s, and we stay there straight through day's end, despite all that sunshine. That means if you are heading out to M&T Bank Stadium and braving the cold, you don't need the rain gear. That's good news. It's going to be bright and sunny there, but I would certainly throw on the nice, warm, heavy jacket, lots of layers, the winter accessories, and also don't forget the sunglasses. Now, coming up in 10 minutes, we will take a look at your holiday week, and I'll let you know exactly when we are tracking our next chance for some rain. Taylor?
This morning, we are following breaking news. A deadly shooting overnight. Police say it happened in South Baltimore along Spelman Road just before 10:30 p.m. A male victim was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now, moments before this, we were sitting at 299 homicides for the year.
I work hard in the city for my constituents. I bring money to my constituents. Only job I have. I'm working hard. When I leave here, I want to have a pension.
Tomorrow, a proposal to reduce pension requirements for Baltimore's elected leaders. It is scheduled for a vote. If it passes, it would mean lifetime benefits for part-time work. But one former city council candidate says the council hasn't earned that privilege yet.
It's almost like a mob move to protect one's own money.
A fast-tracked bill that would lower the number of years Baltimore City elected leaders must work to earn a pension from 12 to 8 will be up for a vote Monday. City Council President Nick Mosby, who sponsored the bill, claims it's necessary after Baltimore City voters overwhelmingly passed Question K on Election Day, establishing future term limits for local elected officials.
It's a direct response to what the people of Baltimore wanted to do.
Former candidate for City Council President Giovanni Patterson says the bill is self-serving and the council members are undeserving.
Us versus them, environment where, again, the city council is trying to protect themselves versus the will of the people and the citizens, quite frankly, and of the people that pay them.
Patterson says a pension should be the last thing on their minds as the city grapples with a plethora of other problems.
There's so many other issues that are affecting Baltimore City right now. I mean, the crime rate is high. Our education system, is performing more poorly. And our taxes are high. There's a lot of other issues that can immediately be addressed, and they chose this.
The council has been rushing to pass the bill even after the finance department and retirement system staff expressed concern.
I think it's funny how everything else that needs to get done in the city needs a study. For example, the property taxes, which need to be reduced greatly, that needs a study. But when it comes to their own pensions, their own checks, it doesn't matter. They don't need to study the financial impact on the citizens of Baltimore, on the city's budget for that. No, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and line our own pockets. Let's go ahead and protect ourselves.
David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance, says it certainly will cost the city and taxpayers a lot of money in the long run.
This may be a very serious financial hit to the city of Baltimore if this legislation passes. Right now, the pension system is fully funded, I believe, at $1.5 million a year. That could balloon, and that could be a real problem and put a drag on the city's finances for decades to come.
Meanwhile, city fire and police employees are also expressing outrage as they're required to work 25 years before becoming eligible for their pension benefits.
Mayor Scott has not said whether or not he would support the plan to change the city's pension rules.
There's 17 times as many victims as there are reported. That's a boatload of people who are hurt. That's a lot hurt. So it's unfathomable to me, the pain that's going on.
Maryland's Attorney General continues to push to release the findings from a report detailing decades of sexual abuse within the Archdiocese of Baltimore. Fox 45's Jeff Abel has victim statements and a response from the church.
The report details the findings of a lengthy investigation at the Baltimore Archdiocese and is expected to name names of predator priests. While the Attorney General supports its public release, the church tonight is supporting something else. Outside this country's most historic cathedral, there were demands today for the truth about the ugly side of this church's history.
It is your church, and you have a right to hold your leaders responsible for what they do.
Adults who say they were abused by predator priests as children have long demanded the church come clean. And now an investigation by Maryland's Attorney General details widespread abuse in Baltimore's Archdiocese dating all the way back to the 1940s. The investigation has identified 600 sexual abuse victims in the Baltimore Archdiocese where rampant sexual abuse existed. The probe also found 158 predator priests, of which a third had not been found out until now. Survivors say the church used Baltimore as a dumping ground for priests who had abused elsewhere.
One parish had 11 abusers over the course of the study. 11 abusers. They had children who were abused by one priest, going to another priest to tell them about the abuse, and they were an abuser themselves.
The Attorney General is asking the court to release all 450 pages of its investigation. Today, survivors insisted that knowing the extent of the abuse and the names of the alleged abusers is critical for recovery.
I do believe that if all those names stay on that page and not crossed out, that there are going to be families all around that are going to feel like, oh my gosh, she didn't make it up.
I want to make sure that my kids are safe. We're still raising them in a Catholic church.
Survivors are calling on the church to support the release of the probe. But in a statement, the church today couched its support, writing that the Archdiocese does not object to the release of a report which accurately details the heinous crime and sin of child sexual abuse perpetrated by members of the clergy, and also fairly and accurately details how the Archdiocese responded to such allegations, even when the response fell far short of how such allegations are handled today.
I believe they're looking closer all along at their pocketbook than at the vulnerable, innocent kids.
For survivors, the investigation's release would be an ounce of redemption after a lifetime of pain.
Even if they do nothing, at least when I die, I will be able to say, I did what I could for me.
It is now up to a circuit judge to decide the fate of this probe, and it is still unclear tonight when that will happen. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
The World Cup starts today, but not without a little bit of controversy. Why FIFA's president is defending Qatar's government.
And I'm tracking this cold front that's moving through Maryland right now. I'll let you know exactly what this means for the rest of the weekend and the holiday week ahead in a couple of minutes. It's 10:38. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Today begins the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and FIFA's president is not holding back amid a series of controversies. Now, Qatar has been widely criticized for its strict laws against the LGBTQ community, as well as the deaths of hundreds of migrant workers while building stadiums and facilities for this year's event. Just yesterday, the president spoke for about an hour defending Qatar and saying Western media is partly to blame for the tournament's bad reputation.
This moral lesson giving, one-sided, it's just hypocrisy.
Qatar is the first country in the Middle East to host the World Cup. Several reports have accused FIFA of taking bribes from Qatar to pick them as host. In a shocking reversal for many soccer fans, beer will not be sold inside soccer stadiums during the World Cup. That decision came just 2 days before the start of the tournament. Qatar's government is walking back on its initial promise to offer alcohol to spectators near venues. Well, Budweiser paid tens of millions of dollars for this exclusive rights deal to sell beer at the World Cup. It's a decision that's not sitting well with many fans.
I've been to several World Cups, and it's the first time that not even in the stadium they will serve beer. I think it's a bit bad because for me, beer and football go hand in hand.
The tournament starts today as host Qatar take on Ecuador at 11 a.m. You can watch most of that tournament right here on Fox 45, including the opener against the U.S. and Wales. That's Monday at 2 o'clock. Down to the wire in College Park as Maryland played number 2 Ohio State. How the Terps nearly pulled off the upset. Ahead in Sports Unlimited. The holiday season's here, which means it's a crazy time to travel. After the break, how the local traffic is holding up as we head into the holiday week. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. After a 30-0 loss, do you even watch the game film or do you just burn it? Well, whatever Mike Loxley did worked because Maryland looked like a completely different squad against the number 2 team in the country. Terps, Buckeyes, the shell was absolutely rocking on a Saturday. Ohio State would draw first blood. C.J. Stroud dumps it off to Travion Henderson, and he does the rest. 33 yards on the score. Terps would claw their way back. Down 10-6. Looking to take the lead. Talia Tungavailoa finds C.J. Dupree. Terps led 13-10 at the half, and that was big. Third quarter, though, Buckeyes pulling away. Dallin Hayden from 3 yards out. He walks on in. Ohio State would now lead by 14. Terps would strike first in the fourth. Talia takes it himself for 6. Successful 2-point conversion cuts it to 6. Buckeyes would score again to make it a 12-point game. Terps cut it to 10 on a defensive PAT conversion. Ensuing offensive possession. Talia rolls right, buys some time, escapes the pressure, and hits Jayshon Jones for the score. How about that? But in a game where Talia became the all-time passing leader in Maryland history, Terps fall in a heartbreaker, 43-30 the final. The last time Maryland played Ohio State in College Park, they almost beat them. Tyrell Pigram was the Terps starting quarterback. Pigram now at Towson, looking to lead the Tigers to their 4th straight win. Season finale against Hampton. Ubaid Steed with the big INT. Ensuing offensive possession. Pigram gets going. Fires end zone. Isaiah Perkins there for the grab. Tigers strike first. Let's go to the second. Pigram swings it to Darian Street, and he cruises on in for 6. Towson wins the season finale, 27-7 the final score. Navy locked in with its second straight ranked opponent. Mids taking on number 20 UCF, and they would lead early. Xavier Arline in for the score. He threw 1 pass in this game. 1 pass in the game. That's it. 2 UCF field goals cut the Navy lead to 1. Vincent Terrell Jr. finds pay dirt from 8 yards out to make it a 1-touchdown game. UCF would not go away, though. Mikey Keene hook it up with Javon Baker for the 28-yard tud. Navy would take the lead back with 8:22 to go in the fourth after UCF ties it up. Bijan Nichols, 45 yards out, showing off the leg. Midshipmen pull off the upset, 17-14 the final, carrying some big-time momentum into that game against Army. Morgan State looking to finish the 2022 campaign with its 5th win. Bears hosting Howard, down big in the fourth. The Bison going to the bag of tricks. Quentin Williams on the receiving end of that touchdown. Bison back in the red zone. This time it's Williams getting it done with his legs. The Bears would get on the board late. Roderick Walker going to score on the keeper, but it was too little too late. Morgan State falls 35-6, finishing the 2022 campaign at 4-7 overall. Stevenson and Johns Hopkins squaring off in the Centennial Mac Bowl Series. Blue Jays up 7-0. Mustangs with the ball, Ryan Sedgwick. And you can't spell Stevenson without Steven Smothers. Extra point knocks it up at 7. Hopkins quick to answer. Ryan Stevens to Quinn Revere. Blue Jays take the lead, and they would go on to score 20 unanswered to close it out. Blue Jays soar in this one, 27-7 the final. Despite injuries to J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, the team's top 2 running backs, the Ravens have established their dominance on the ground, running over the opposition as of late. Baltimore is ranked 2nd in the NFL as far as rushing offense goes, averaging just over 168 yards per game. While the Panthers aren't nearly as good on the ground, they rushed for 232 yards last week. And with the temperature set to dip below 40 degrees today, both teams will likely lean on the run again.
It's really important. I mean, I saw some articles written about, the run is back in the NFL or whatever, and I don't know, maybe if it ever went away, it shouldn't have. You've got to be able to run the ball. You've got to be able to stop the run. So 2 teams that do believe in that, obviously, and it's going to be quite a matchup in that sense.
You can catch the action from that game right here on Fox 45 at 1. To the hardwood, battle of the unbeatens as Maryland took on St. Louis in the Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off. Terps got off to a 10-2 run and really never looked back. Jameer Young, he went on a 10-0 run of his own off the Juju Reese block. He buries the triple. Terps led by 24 at the half. Let's go to the second half. Maryland really kept its foot on the gas. Dante Scott, who needs jelly when he's bringing the jam? The Philly native led all scorers with 25. Maryland stays undefeated with a 95-67 win. Kevin Willard becomes the first coach in program history to start his first season in College Park, 4-0. That's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Sunday.
And what would make this Sunday great is some great weather, I'd say. Let's check in with meteorologist Amy Aronson. Nice shot behind you.
Yeah, a beautiful looking day down at M&T Bank Stadium. Doesn't feel that great, though. Looks like it's already busy out there. I see lots of folks already tailgating, despite the cold temperatures that we have today. Temperature-wise, we are starting off near freezing. Low 30s to begin, despite that sunshine. A west-northwesterly wind at 18 miles an hour, making it feel like we're only at 22. So layers are key today. We have a cold front moving through. You're not going to notice it. It's not producing any rain, not producing any snow, although the snow showers continue for our neighbors in upstate New York, where snow continues to pile up there. For us, we're not tracking any of that. We're actually going to stay bright and sunny. This front will keep our winds up, though. That's why it's going to be pretty windy out there this afternoon, and keep our temperatures down. So let's track our wind gusts together hour by hour. As we near kickoff at 1 o'clock, it is going to be breezy. We've got winds gusting at 20 miles an hour at that point. After that, wind speeds will gradually calm down, especially this evening. We're back down to about 15 miles an hour. And then overnight, as we get into your Monday morning, much more manageable, with wind gusts closer to 5-10 miles an hour in most locations. But these winds keep our temperatures down, our wind chills down. That's the number that matters. This is how cold it feels. Feeling like we're in the low 20s as we head towards kickoff at 1 o'clock. As we head through the rest of the afternoon, temperatures don't change a whole lot. Still feels like we're only in the mid-20s. Overnight, temperatures will continue to fall. But as the winds ease up on Monday, that's when we'll notice an improvement here with our wind chills. Feels like we're actually back in the upper 30s and low 40s as we get into your Monday afternoon. Today at M&T Bank Stadium, it's going to be a cold one. If you're not heading out to the game, perfect day to stay warm at home watching football on the couch. We've got actual temperatures in the mid and upper 30s. Actually, the potential for a record low high here. The current record low high stands at 38 degrees. We'll get awfully close to that today. Wind chills will actually be in the mid-20s, though, throughout the game. Now let's talk about the week ahead. It's a very, very busy travel week. Looks like the weather is going to cooperate for us, at least locally here in Maryland. We are dry Tuesday, Wednesday, and through Thanksgiving on Thursday, so I'm giving all 3 days the green light. Friday, we are tracking our next weather maker, and that will come with a chance for some showers, and because of that, push it back to the yellow light. And here's what we're expecting for Thanksgiving. It's going to be pretty seasonable, a little more comfortable if you want to play football with the family outside. We've got a nice mix of sun and clouds. We start the morning off in the low 40s, and then we actually end it in the low to mid 50s. So a pretty quiet holiday week ahead of us, at least weather-wise. We have sunshine leading up to Thanksgiving, and it's going to be more comfortable. Mid-50s are back for a couple of days. Even on Friday, we'll spend the day in the mid-50s, but I am tracking some rain showers for Black Friday. No snow chances this week, and then we're dry again by Saturday with highs hanging out in the mid-50s. Taylor?
Let's go ahead and take a live look over the Bay Bridge this morning, and you can see traffic is picking up here as folks head out for Thanksgiving week. AAA expects this will be the third busiest travel weekend since 2000. The worst traffic day expected to be Wednesday, of course, the day before Thanksgiving. If you're driving across state lines for Thanksgiving, pay attention to the pump because it'll cost you depending on where you are. Here in Maryland, average gas prices are $3.67 a gallon. But if you head up north, Pennsylvania, you're looking at 40 cents higher. So consider filling up before you cross that border. If you're going south, though, through Virginia, could be cheaper to fill up here. Gas prices there gas prices there are looking better, $3.45 a gallon. If you're flying, though, you need these tips from TSA. They're saying if you're heading to the airport this week, take a listen.
Be prepared. Get to the airports early and get here prepared for your travel experience. And when I say early, please arrive to the airport at least 2 hours prior to your departure time. That will assist in getting things ready for your divesting through our checkpoint, getting through the travel document checker, and being prepared to divest all your property onto our X-ray equipment.
The agency predicts travel will increase significantly, and we could actually be near pre-pandemic levels. Starting you off here with a beautiful Sunday, but it is chilly out there. Coming up, meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at how your holiday weather is shaping up in your full 10-day forecast.
Yeah, that looks nice,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
10:50, almost 10:57 on this bright and sunny Sunday morning. Looks like a good day for a Ravens win. What do you think?
Oh, no, this shot tells me that the Ravens are going to win if I'd bet my money on it.
Yeah, if anything, they're going to stay warm, right? Running around the field down there today at M&T Bank Stadium. It's going to be a cold one for that game. Feels more like winter football than fall football. Upper 30s today, but it's going to be blustery, making it feel like we're only in the mid-20s. The good news is it gets warmer after Monday morning. Monday morning, we start off bottoming out near 20, mid-40s Monday afternoon, and then the 50s are back as we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving. Weather will cooperate for your holiday travels on Thanksgiving, mid-50s, and then some rain showers for Black Friday.
Yeah, a soggy Black Friday looks like, and a cold game day, but
yeah, go Ravens.
Have a great Sunday.